Although I'm a bit late for Pride Month, the topic of LGBTQ rights is always important. So I wanted to talk to you about the LGBTQ movement in an unlikely place, a place often associated with nationalism, hate, conservatism, a place considered by many perhaps mostly unsuitable for LGBTQ people. You've probably guessed it by the name of this channel. This place is the Balkans. And although being a member of the LGBTQ community in the Balkans is harder than, say, in the US, and you're met with a lot more hate, I believe that things here are getting better. Sure, we still have a long way to go, but each small step is important. And in my opinion, perhaps the best tool for communication and for understanding each other is art. So, in a three-part video, I will introduce you to some LGBTQ artists in all of the Balkan countries. Keep in mind, these are far from the only LGBTQ artists, just the ones that I've picked. I'll also link others in the description if you're interested to learn more. Bulgaria, Waiting for Color. Kosta Karakashyan is a very interesting Bulgarian young film director and choreographer, as well as an LGBTQ activist. The experimental documentary film Waiting for Color explores the difficulties of being an LGBTQ person in Chechnya, a republic of Russia. The film shows several stories told via voiceover while showing us an extraordinary choreography. And while most other examples in this video are going to be inspiring and motivating, this one is, in my opinion, rather disturbing, as the protagonists, whom we never see but whose voices we hear all throughout the film, are telling us some extremely disturbing stories of the beatings they endured by authorities, as well as the brutal punishment from their homophobic family members, and many, many more.
The others just beat me.
I have bracelets on my wrist and also a leather bag.
So, although we never see this violence, I think that you can imagine it just from the voiceovers. Thus, viewer discretion is advised. North Macedonia, Housekeeping for Beginners. Besides the Skopje Pride Festival, LGBTQ-themed exhibitions and workshops, North Macedonia also has a widely rewarded LGBTQ-themed film, a film worthy of the Queer Lion Award, as well as the Macedonian entry for the Best International Feature Film in the 96th Academy Awards. The film in question is Housekeeping for Beginners, written, directed, and edited by Goran Stolevski. Housekeeping for Beginners tells us the story of Dita, who never wanted to be a mother, but circumstances forced her to raise her girlfriend's two daughters. I personally haven't watched the film, nor did I find where to watch it, as it is still pretty new, and I assume that it is still having its festival run. However, it is definitely on my watch list, and I recommend that it goes on yours too. As for Goran Stolevski, he was born in 1985 and is currently living in Australia. An openly gay man, he made his feature film debut with the film You Won't Be Alone, which premiered at the 2022 Sundance Film Festival. Since then, he has also released the film Of an Age, which is another LGBTQ-themed film. Although I haven't yet watched anything from Goran Stolevski, I personally think that he is an extremely productive and interesting director. Serbia, Predrag Azdekovic. Originally, I was planning to talk about Optimist, a Serbian gay-only magazine which features news and interviews with interesting LGBTQ people in Serbia. But then I read more about its editor-in-chief, and I was very inspired. Predrag Azdekovic is a lot of things. He is an LGBTQ rights activist, writer, journalist, film producer, theater producer,
director of Gay Lesbian Info Center, director of Medalinka Film Festival, founder of the web portal Gay Echo, editor-in-chief of Optimist, producer of several short films and documentaries, as well as several award-winning theater plays, all dedicated to LGBTQ population, and finally, a member of Journalists Association of Serbia.
Obviously, Azdekovic deserves a video of his own because he's done a lot for the Serbian LGBTQ community. In fact, everything he does is centered around LGBTQ rights. But we will leave his story for another time. This was part 1 of the 3-part video about LGBTQ arts in the Balkans. I hope I inspired you, perhaps gave you some ideas for your own LGBTQ art, and most of all, gave some food for thought that even in the Balkans, change and acceptance towards LGBTQ people is possible and encouraged. See you in the next one.